You ever notice how easy it is to talk about the things you absolutely love? Like a new restaurant you found, or your favorite team, or maybe a hobby you're just super passionate about. It comes up naturally. Well, that's what we're going to get into today, how that very same idea applies to something as personal as your faith.
So seriously, take a second. What are you passionate about? For some of you, it might be cars. For others, maybe it's fitness or hunting or art. Whatever it is, when you find something that truly grabs you, something that maybe even changes your life, you just can't help but tell people about it, right? It's just a natural overflow. Because what fills your heart is eventually going to spill out of your mouth. It's this simple idea that when something has a huge impact on you, sharing it isn't some chore, it's just instinct. So today we're going to break down a really simple guide to sharing your own story, and we'll start with the very foundation of the message itself. Okay, so before we can talk about sharing a message, we've got to be crystal clear on what that message actually is. You'll often hear it called the gospel, which really just means the good news. So what's at the heart of that good news? Well, you can really break it down into four simple parts. First, this idea that God actually created us for a relationship with him. But second, our sin, it creates this gap, a separation in that relationship. Third, and this is the core of it, Jesus came to reconnect us, to pay the price for that sin. And finally, number four, our part is simply to respond, to believe in him and to follow him. That's pretty much the whole message in a nutshell.
So that brings us to the next big question. Why even share it? For a lot of people, this can feel like this heavy weight, something you have to do. But the way we're looking at it today is completely different. It's not about obligation, it's about overflow.
Let's just look at these two motivations side by side. On one side, you've got obligation. That's the because I have to feeling. It feels like a duty. But on the other side, you've got overflow. That's the because I can't help it feeling. It's a genuine desire that comes from your own personal experience. It's the difference between being told to do something and being so excited about it that you just can't keep it to yourself. And this quote, man, it just nails it. Sharing should be the natural response to receiving. When you really get how significant this message is for your own life, that gratitude and excitement just naturally bubble up and make you want to talk about it. All right, so if the why is overflow, then what about the where? Are you supposed to go stand on a street corner with a megaphone? Well, not necessarily. The most effective place, almost always, is right inside the relationships you've already built. And there's a great analogy to help us picture this. Imagine you're on a basketball court. The full court heave, that's like shouting a message at a total stranger. It's a really low percentage shot, right? Very little chance of it actually connecting. But then you have the layup. That's your high percentage shot. This is like sharing with a friend after you've already put in the time to build trust. Every honest chat, every time you show up for them, that's like dribbling the ball down the court, getting closer and closer to that easy, effective shot. And this is the whole point. It's not about trying to force a message on someone. It's about earning the right to be heard. That trust, that genuine relationship, that's the vehicle that paves the way for the message to actually be heard. So when the time is right, it's not some wild shot anymore. It's a layup. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most practical part, the how. How do you actually do this? This is where it gets super personal and really empowering. You don't need to be a scholar, you don't need a theology degree, you just need a story, your story. And the best part is, there's a very, very simple and powerful way to frame your personal story. It's not complicated at all, and it makes the whole idea feel totally doable for anybody, no matter what your background is. Here it is. It's like a simple 3-act story. First, I was like this. This is where you just talk about your life before, the struggles, the way you thought, the challenges you faced. Second, then Jesus. This is the turning point, the moment or maybe the process where things started to change. And third, now I'm like this. This is where you share how your life, your outlook, your heart, how it's different today. It's a clear, powerful narrative. So, and this is so important, this approach completely changes your role. You're not a lawyer trying to prove a case, arguing all these points, trying to win. No, you're simply a witness. And what does a witness do? They just tell what they saw and experienced. They share their account of what happened. All the pressure to debate is gone. You just have to share. And this whole idea is rooted deep in Scripture. This verse from Revelation points to two powerful things: what Jesus did, the blood of the Lamb, and the power of people just sharing their own experience, the word of their testimony. Your story isn't just some nice little anecdote. It's presented here as a seriously powerful thing. So, as we wrap this up, the big takeaway is the shift in perspective, moving from obligation to overflow, from a full court heave to a layup, and most importantly, from being a lawyer to being a witness, which really leaves us with just one final question for you to think about. What is your testimony?